POS show yo. Yo, it's POS with Pat and Bobby. News so wild it's never sloppy. Talk the truth, don't make it snobby. Who's the POS? We getting choppy. POS show yo.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday, Bobby. How are you? And besides, fired the fuck up and shot out of a cannon. How are you?
I'm fired up and shot out of a cannon. How are you?
Yes. Not fired up nor shot out of a cannon. So this should be for wonderful content.
Yeah, you know how I feel. I always love when one person's bounced off the old walls and the other one's just normal and funny.
And the other one's the wall.
You know what Pink Floyd
You are
said.
spaghetti someone's tossing to go, I'm not sure how to cook. But I was told that if you gun this against the wall and it stays there, we should eat it, I guess, off the wall.
That just seems unsanitary.
But that's the move. When I was younger, it's like, how do you know it's done? Take a piece of spaghetti and toss it against the wall. If it sticks, it's done. I'm like, how did you find that out?
Yeah, what process of elimination was like, damn, you don't shut the fuck up, but this is the best tasting spaghetti I've ever had. Oh, look, it sticks to the wall.
Someone, like a lady's carrying the hot pot of spaghetti because the guy decided last second he didn't want the meatloaf. He's like, I want spaghetti instead. And then when she walked in for no reason, he fucking tripped her.
Oh, God.
Fuck? He's like, fuck you for not making the right food, stupid. I hope you burn. But instead of burning, she throws
spaghetti
it like this,
face.
And it all hits the wall. And then he goes, and then her face hits it hard. And she goes, it's done. He's like, okay, wonderful. Now eat it while I fuck you in the butt. Like, this is the worst dinner of all times.
And, Italians, you gotta love them. Know how to cook
And
pasta, know how to treat their women.
And we just like flipped the script because I said you were shot out of a cannon, but that example I went on, that was pretty cannon shot. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, dude. I like how my energy was infectious today.
It was. That's what it was. Or the fact that I barely have slept in the last week. So it's like one of those things. So, but all you people out there, in case somebody's making spaghetti, don't trip them.
Just throw it at the wall. You could skip that.
They can burn. They can die. It's so hot. And you can ruin dinner.
Yeah, I remember one year my grandpa choked real bad right before Thanksgiving dinner, and it was hard to be like, when do we have to, once we find out he's okay at the hospital, can we eat? How long post choking? It's like that old Louis joke. How long post 9/11 did you masturbate? How long post choking do you eat turkey dinner?
Yeah, it sucks because you normally in any situation like that, anyone would be like, I'll take him to the hospital. I'll take him. I'll go with him to the ambulance. I'm sure that one was like, so who's gonna go with Grandpa while this awesome turkey is here?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I know you say you wait, but then you'll guilt that person. It's like, we'll wait if you want us to. Of course, we don't. The kids are getting a little cranky and stuff. But if you want us to wait until you come back with Grandpa, then I guess we can wait. And then of course you're like, no, go ahead, just save me a plate. And they're like, yeah, we already ate.
Yeah, it's not what you wanted, but there is a leftover for you.
Yeah, it's McDonald's. We ordered you McDonald's, you fucking piece of shit. Grandpa died on your watch.
It's the POS show. That's Pat on Bobby. We're getting choppy.
What are we doing the song? Why are you doing the song?
I like that song, man.
I watched Bobby do a bong hit right before the show, but I didn't know it was of crack.
No, dude, I'm ready to go, buddy. It's fun.
I know, but in the middle of us talking, you just did the song.
Just in case anybody wanted to see us,
They can see the song. Everyone's like, we're taking today off, but that's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see much in the chat.
No, or there's not much in here, but speaking of, let's get right to a story. George Clooney, he's beloved, right? Everybody loves George Clooney.
Yeah,
you would think George. Go ahead.
Career kind of pop after that ER show. He never really did much after that, huh?
No, he didn't. Actually, he never did anything. It was his mother, Rosemary, who was the real star. George Clooney's known as a guy that seems like Hollywood loves, and he loves Hollywood and gets along with everybody, you would think, but he's pissed off at somebody right now, and it's not who you think. It's his buddy. George Clooney tells Quentin Tarantino to fuck off, dude. I'm a little irritated by that guy. That's a news story. That's the headline of your post. Yes, it says F-K. So they literally went with, hey, fuck off as their headline. They could have said Quentin Tarantino or George Clooney's miffed or something. They're like, nah, fuck off. News at 11. George Clooney would like Quentin Tarantino to fuck off. The actor 63 seems to have some beef with the Oscar-winning director 61. I didn't think George Clooney was older than Quentin Tarantino. I thought it was the other way around.
If you didn't know who they were and I just showed you both pictures, you would assume that was correct.
Right, but not by too much, but I figured Clooney was 60 and I thought Tarantino was like mid-60s for some reason. I always think directors are older though too than actors. I don't know why. I just think they're all 93. But the actor 63 seems to have a beef with the Oscar-winning director 61 about whether he qualifies as a movie star. Clooney spoke about Tarantino while promoting his upcoming movie Wolves, alongside co-star friend and frequent collaborator Brad Pitt, 60, in a cover story of GQ's September issue. When the conversation with the stars turned to his filmmaker, Clooney let a few things off his chest. Quentin said some shit about me recently, so I'm a little irritated by him, the Ocean's 11 actor said. He did some interview where he was naming movie stars, and he was talking about you, and he said referring to Brad Pitt and somebody else. And then the interviewer goes, well, what about George? And Tarantino goes, he's not a movie star, Clooney continued. And then he literally said something like, name me a movie since the millennium. And I was like, since the millennium? That's kind of my whole fucking career. I like that they got quote for quote. This feels like Clooney sent this in. Because like this, I know it's another interview, but like, this is not like then George said, or someone heard George say, or popular people, whatever, think this. It's like, nah, he's like, yeah, dude, that guy said I stink at acting, so fuck him.
Yeah, fuck off.
This is a baby fucking article, but
this is amazing. I like that George Clooney's turned into a YouTube reaction commentary guy, where he's like, all right, we're gonna take this interview. Stop. That's my thing. I've been acting in movies since the millennium. That's it.
Yeah, it's a weird talk about bitch. And then the interviewer go, I think you made that joke at the beginning, but that's how Tarantino feels. Like it was ER, then it fell off. And he was wrong. In a bunch of movies with them. It's like, but then he literally said something like, name me a movie since the millennium, my fucking career, whatever. We did that part. With more than a bit of umbrage, Clooney added, so now I'm like, all right, dude, fuck off. I don't mind giving him shit. He gave me shit. Perhaps backtracking stated, but no. Look, we're really lucky we got to work with these great directors. Director and screenplay is what keeps you alive. Yeah, he literally... Something was going on with Clooney where he's just like, fuck, I just realized I just ruined my career. The one he said I don't have. All directors are cool. Both Clooney and Pitt have worked with Tarantino. Clooney co-starred alongside Tarantino in the 96 film From Dusk Till Dawn. Pitt has starred in 2 Tarantino movies.
I think I found out their beef. We'll talk about that in a second. Right. Sorry.
Pitt has starred in 2 Tarantino movies, Inglourious Bastards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. His performance in the latter won him an Oscar. Referring to Tarantino's acting in From Dusk Till Dawn, Pitt told GQ he was pretty good. Clooney hedged a bit, saying he was okay in it. There's a scene, I'm blanking on it, but he's really good, Pitt interjected. It's not clear at this time which of Tarantino's interviews Clooney is referring to in his GQ profile. In a separate GQ piece focused solely on Pitt, Tarantino did provide a comment about the actor's work, calling him one of the last remaining big screen movie stars. In 22, the director equated Pitt with Paul Newman, Robert Redford, and Steve McQueen. It's just a different breed of man, Tarantino said, and frankly, I don't think you can describe exactly what he is because it's like describing starshine. I noticed it when we were doing Inglourious Bastards. That's kind of gay. When Brad was in the shot, I didn't feel like I was looking through the viewfinder of the camera. I feel like I was watching a movie. Just his presence in the 4 walls of the frame created that impression. Elsewhere, Tarantino, who is in many ways a historian of Hollywood, caught flack for saying that Marvel stars aren't movie stars. Part of the Marvelization of Hollywood is you have to all the actors who have become famous playing these characters, the director remarked in a 22 interview on the Two Bears One Cave podcast. It's weird that Tom Segura pulled that out of him. But they're not movie stars, right? Captain America is the star, or Thor is the star. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that. I think that's been said a zillion times. But it's like, it's these franchise characters that become the star. And that's the fucking article. All right, who's a piece of shit? Is it Brad Pitt for being like, I'm all mad about a fucking interview that Tarantino did talking shit, but when the reporter said we can't find that fucking interview, it sounds like George Clooney just wanted an excuse to fucking go off. Is it Quentin Tarantino? If he did say those things, should he have talked to George about that? Should George have had to find out in a fucking article and read it to hear a guy that he's friends with is saying, hey, I didn't call you a movie star when they asked you who movie stars are. He's like, why couldn't you just go along, bro? He's like, is it Brad Pitt for being in the interview with him and not defending either one of them more? All Brad said was, yeah, that one scene was good with, yeah. They're like, all right, Brad. And he's like, yeah, I'm Brad Pitt. I'm fucking
what
handsome.
Up?
What up? Yeah, is it you and I for both realizing that, yeah, Quentin Tarantino won awards and shit and two of his best movies ever with Brad Pitt, and then some dog shit thing he didn't even make and he was with Clooney. And if you had to track all the numbers of things they made, what movies did the best out of those three? Oh my God, it's not even close. It's like, Dust Till Dawn is like a cult classic type thing. You say that, but it's people basically watch it for Selma Hayek's tits. But that's basically what you're watching.
B movie, yeah.
Right, yeah, it really is like those with those ones that Danny Trejo was in. What was those crazy? What were they called?
Machete.
Yeah, Machete. It's like Machete, except for Machete right away is in your face saying we're nuts. They do about 20 minutes at Dust Till Dawn pretending it's a regular movie, and then you get vampires and shit. And you don't expect it, but it's horse shit. And Tarantino isn't good in that. Tarantino's not a good actor, but Clooney is it people who are ranked stars? If you're the main name, if you're the number one name on a thing, aren't you a movie star or are you not? Is it actors in general for being as sensitive as comedians apparently? Because you're like, I'm a headliner. Like, nah, you're a middle. It's like, how the fuck you call me a middle? It's like, well, I saw you open up for Bill Burr and Jerry Seinfeld. It's like, I open up for two of the greatest comics in the fucking world, asshole. I'm a headliner. Every week I'm somewhere else. Like, not to me. Who's the piece of shit?
Oh, so it's 100% George Clooney. A, Pitt's a much better actor. B, this 100%.
And I love Clooney, but Pitt's way better.
And this 100% all comes down to the movie Dust Till Dawn, which is, if you don't know, a vampire movie that doesn't happen until halfway through the movie. You think it's just like a Western flick and then it turns into, but really,
yeah, I was just saying that.
Tarantino directed and acted in it, and he just wrote several scenes where he got to like lick women's feet. It's really where the most of the, prior to the Hollywood one, where most of the foot fetish thing from, and I think it creeped Clooney out, or perhaps George has a bit of a foot fetish of his own, and he was jealous that Tarantino wrote himself all those parts and didn't give George any feet scenes.
Not the nerd interject, but he did not direct that one. That's not one of his. That's what's his name, Rodriguez. Richard Rodriguez.
Did he write it maybe? Because I thought the rumor was he put it in that he got to do it.
No, he made suggestions. They asked him about the character, and Rodriguez was asking each one of them to kind of come up with like little quirky things so they know their character. And I guess Clooney was like, well, I'm quiet and I'm this and I'm, maybe I'm going through a divorce, but you don't hear about like that kind of weird shit, like anger there. And I guess Tarantino was like, I'm a freak, like I'm into like feet and stuff, and like other things, mostly feet. Well, and I guess he kept saying that, and they're like, all right, let's lean in.
Then let me repaint my hypothetical. I think Clooney originally came up with the freak feet character, and then Tarantino stole it from him, and he hasn't ever let it go. And he's like, oh yeah, you think you're great, George? I'm going to cast your rival and everything, and he's going to win 2 Oscars for me.
I agree like 85% with what you're saying. I agree 100%, but I'm almost on the same trajectory. It is Clooney, but I think it goes a little deeper than that. I don't think it's because Clooney said in Dust Till Dawn, I'm the foot guy, and then Quentin took it or whatever like that. I don't think that was it. I think that Quentin Tarantino probably suggested a lot more feet. Like he didn't even want vampires. He just wanted like feet zombies. And he was like, I want feet in every fucking scene. That'd be crazy. Be afraid of feet and stuff. And I'm telling you. No, I'm kidding. You're asking the people, but I was like, I'm trying to tell you right now, Bobby. Don't write that to me. But so I'm like, I think that he wanted more and more feet. And Clooney was probably like, hey man, the movie's already about Salma Hayek's tits and vampires. We can't make it about feet too. We gotta have a movie. And he's like, oh, you're worried about the script? You know, wouldn't be worried about the script and feet. A movie star. And, and that was it. And that's why he's been holding that on that ever fucking since.
You know who wouldn't give a shit? Brad Pitt. Spit in his face.
Have you heard of a certain actor named? You know what would be up here deep in it? Matt Damon. How's that feel? Matt Damon's a star. You're not a star. How do you like that fucking kind of thing? Don Cheadle is a movie star. Everyone in Ocean's 11 but you, even the Asian guy. Everybody is a movie star in one way, shape, or form, except for you, the title character of a movie with all movie stars. Yeah, dude. Ocean's 11 he's Danny Ocean. He's Sinatra. Dean. He's Dean. And those are all stars, and he's the lead actor. And Tarantino's like, oh, I'm not a movie star? He was a movie star. Every time he's in a collab, he's still the guy. And then the Wes Anderson things, he's always the guy, even when there's other stars.
Yeah, he makes movies that you have to be on mushrooms to enjoy. Good point. Super
Not always mushrooms, but like you have to be high at least.
Absolutely. Those are great movies. I do love Wes Anderson, not shitting on him at all. I like to think he was like, what do you think I'm running around here, George? An emotion-filled pussy warehouse?
And he's like, was that like Men's Warehouse, but a little more expensive?
Oh, man. So do you
want
to
like the way we hook? That's their thing. They just have hookers. You're like, whoa.
This is heaven. I died and went there. The Muzzies were right. What's up, Deadpool? What's up, Mike? Good to see you both. Just saying hey. Pat, would you prefer a story about my life?
I would prefer if you always, for some reason, the way you are today, talk about your inner thoughts. You're like, I'm just saying hi. Like, we know you said hi.
Just saying hi.
You're the actor who's reading stage direction. You're not a movie star.
No, I am not, but I am a foot fetish freak like Tarantino, and I'm gonna write a bunch of movies where I get people to say the N-word. Would you like a story about fast food? We talk a lot about fast food and how it's bad, but this might be the fast food workers fighting back. Or would you prefer a story from my life personally?
You're fired up. Let's go with you.
With me. Okay. So I was scrolling through stories before the show, and I saw one that said, you may be able to see Aurora Borealis tonight. Now, if you don't know, Aurora Borealis is the scientific term for the northern lights. And when I was in 9th grade, we took a class where we got to do a final presentation instead of a final exam, and you got to pick one scientific phenomena. And a girl whose name I'm not going to say picked Aurora Borealis, despite the fact she could not say the letter R. So for a 30-minute presentation, we heard about Aurora Borealis.
That's awesome.
And to this day, anytime I see a headline, Aurora Borealis, there is a group of friends that I text and go, Aurora Borealis, and send a screenshot of the headline to. And it'd be fine. It was just a high school kind of bullying thing until a few months ago when I went to stop into Dick's Sporting Goods just to remind all my friends there that you can move on. There is an out. I think that's important to do in retail. Who do I see as the new head cashier? But Aurora Borealis.
Oh, no,
so then oh yeah, she cannot say the letter R. Thank God she doesn't. She works at
that
Dick's.
Wasn't a kid thing. That was a life speak. I thought it was like a young kid and then like matured into somebody who could not be Elmer Fudd.
No, I think maybe this is the reason why she's the head cashier at Dick's is Alice was holding her back. But now all these people who she's supposed to be in charge of and have authority over know she can't say the word authority. And I went and I told everybody. So now I have about a 72-person group chat that anytime any of us see the word Aurora Borealis, we text each other and laugh about her. So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it me?
You. No, go ahead, do your thing. But yeah,
no. Is it me? I
100%. No, but give your offers, of course. Maybe you'll sway me.
You never know. I've got, the art of persuasion. Is it me? I get that I'm making fun of somebody with a speech impediment. That said, we've seen what happens when we empower people with a speech impediment. When we give people with speech impediments like a stutter an opportunity, sometimes it goes to their head and they get an ego and they turn into the giant pieces of shit of all time. I like to mock everybody equally. I make fun of you, Pat, for your voice and being Irish, even though you don't really claim Irish heritage. I made fun of Donovan for being in a wheelchair. Like, that's part of how I view equality is treating my grandfather. We used to be like, hey, Gramps, who do you like the best? Who's your favorite grandchild? Which one of us do you love the most? And you know what he would always tell us? I don't like any of you. I hate you all the same. And
Nice.
that's how I view equality, right? Like if you make fun of everybody for their differences, that's what brings us together. Is it her? You can figure out how to say the letter R. Like it's hard. When I was in kindergarten, I had to go to speech therapy to learn how to do it. Turns out I just thought it was harder to say R than W. And if I had to try to impress some people, I could turn it on and turn it off. Figure it out. Is it Dick's Sporting Goods? Like make her stock freight or something. In Notre Dame, where did they keep the hunchback? In the tower, not out and greeting the people. Who's your piece of shit, Pat? Is it still just me?
It's not you now. Now it's your grandfather. That guy is 2 for 2 on this show. Is giving out the worst fucking things to kids of all time. Last time he was in the middle of a thing that really had nothing to do with it. You just it had to do with the country. You're like Austria, like my grandpa always said, never trust an Austrian. And then you just moved on to his story. It's like whatever that man said to you sticks into your fucking head way worse than Aurora Borealis. Like you have to talk to your friends about that. You can't talk to your friends about the grandfather. That one is like that's got to stay for therapy and podcast. That's what we do here. But like you literally stopped and went like we were like, hey grandpa, would you like the best? Like, none. I hate all of you. But you didn't say then he laughed or hugged us. He just said that and then went back to watching TV. So even though you are making fun of people, that's not your fault. I think you're just trying to be what you think an adult is because that's what your grandpa did and you emulated your grandfather. So every time you're going around being a piece of shit to somebody, it's because grandpa taught you and you don't want to let grandpa down. So
well,
and it's funny that he hates things with A's are all about it. Aurora Borealis, and you got fucking Austria. It's all hard things for her to say. But yeah, the piece of shit is your grandpa.
So I do have to step up for both grandparents here because mom's dad hated the Austrians. Dad hated all of us equally. But I will say that
Those are two different men?
Yeah, two great influences on my life, two great people.
Oh my
But
God.
my dad's dad had this great joke when my cousin was in kindergarten. He thought it would be funny to pretend that he got my grandfather a dog for Christmas, a puppy. And so like he was like, oh, he went and acted. He had a crate size, package and went and hid it in the basement. But at this point, my grandpa liked to drink a lot, so he was pretty gone. And my cousin went to the basement and was playing dog noises through a speaker, and my grandpa just started yelling, "I'll choke the damn thing."
Oh no!
So I love Grandpa T. Miss him.
Why? Why do you love it? That's the stories you've been sharing aren't.
That was one of the funniest
love.
moments of my life. Watching me and Gina fight and being like, which one of us do you like better, Grandpa? And him being, I hate you both. You're ruining my day. It's a good lesson.
No, he's supposed to love that you guys are with him and cherish it because he's an old fuck and he's gonna die.
That's fair. That's a good point. For me, the piece of shit isn't him though. It would be her. Say Aurora Borealis once and then call it the Northern Lights. Nobody's gonna notice that one. They're just gonna think you're Canadian. She could say Northern. It's close enough. It sounds Canadian, like
it's
French
worse
Canadian.
The teacher should have been like really thought about that and been like, you guys choose whatever you want. Hey, you choose the Northern Lights. Or how about you choose a meteor shower? Media shower is not that bad.
I was convinced the teacher of this class was the Antichrist for the first 2 years of high school, and then she became one of my closest friends afterwards. She even came to the show I headlined back in Hershey, and I told that joke, and she thought it was hilarious. She got it. So,
I mean, I hate to say this, but with your stories and things like that, of course you liked the Antichrist because you are being raised to be mean to people, and You just admitted that the only love you got from your grandfather was fucking super mean. So yeah, the meaner that lady was, the more you're like, I love you. That's why the next 2 years you were like, oh, this is the best teacher ever. They were fucking evil. They were the Antichrist, as you put it.
Yeah, and I mean, I ran tests, like, all of her initials, if you add them together, there's 6 letters in her first name, middle, and last. One time we put holy water in her drink, and she was sick the next day. We would play
Nice.
gospel music, and she couldn't pay attention, all that stuff.
We we played Quiet Riot and she liked it.
Yeah, she's like, "This is fun."
This is good. Like, oh, you must be the devil. That song stinks. That
Why are
band's
you
the
I'm gonna
dumbest.
shout at you.
Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things we'll do without. Come on, that's not the song. I'm talking to you. That's not the song. That's the shout I like. Not there's a shout. Shout at the devil, right? Is that
Yeah.
who's he yelling at?
Shout, shout, shout at the devil, isn't that them?
Yeah, I think so. They're bad. They had that fucking mascot that's dumb, like a zombie metal guy.
That now every ska band has a guy who doesn't play any instruments, sing, or do anything. He just dances on stage in a costume, all
Right,
because
but
of
that guy.
Quiet Riot.
But they had this one. They had like a 90-foot one they put on stage, like the huge. Like, it moved. It was like what's it, Eddie or some shit like that.
I
It's
don't
fucking
know enough
crazy.
about them.
Yeah,
It seems
I
like
had
you're driven by
I had friends
hatred.
that were met him. I had friends that were super into it. And they talk about it. I'm like, this sounds gay. It's not gay. It's fucking bad stuff. I'm like, it's gay. Robots, fucking, and cheesy ass music, and guys dressed like ladies singing hard.
They're like, you
Okay.
probably think Judas Priest is gay too.
Yeah, you probably also believe Queen is gay.
Yeah.
What do you think next? Boy George, homo? Come on, what are you fucking stupid?
George Michael?
George Michael's not gay. It's the other one. No, it's gay. George Michael's straight as fuck with his makeup and his feathered hair and his cock in his mouth.
He keeps tapping my foot to keep rhythm at the bathroom stall. That's all.
That's it. Yeah, well, I'm holding my foot down so I can get plunged. All right. Speaking of man, ladies, Iman Khalif. Remember that person from last week? Iman Khalif, their name is. It's the man lady who punches people for the championships.
Okay, gotcha.
Iman Khalif's former sparring partner emerges with bizarre claims after Olympic controversy. Gold medal boxer Iman Khalif is getting attacked by one of her former sparring partners. Bulgarian-Nigerian women's boxer Joanna Nomoramu sparred with Khalif on several occasions and has bizarre theories on Khalif's background after the Algerian boxer was in the middle of the gender controversy of the Olympics. She has some kind of internal issues, but he is a man. I will stay by my words until she does the test to prove to the world that she is a woman. We all know what that won't happen. Namorimi, whatever the fuck name is, then claimed that she was approached by teammates of Khalif's and that newly crowned gold medalist has been biologically altered by her environment. Teammates came up to me and told me a man is not a man. She is a woman and just lives high in the mountains with her relatives and parents, and so there may be a change in her testosterone and chromosomes from the environment. What the fuck? I think we played 3 or 4 sparring sessions. I have a record of everything. I can confirm that this is a man to me. Male power, men's techniques, everything. Khalif is not transgender and was born a woman, although she was banned last year by the International Boxing Association over a mysterious failed test that IBA President Umar Kremlev claims showed that she had XY chromosomes. Khalif won gold in the Paris Olympics last week after she defeated Chinese fighter Yang Lu. Khalif looked dominant throughout their 5 wins to claim the welterweight tournament. Afterwards, she lambasted the harassment she received, saying it's harm human dignity, according to NBC New York. I send a message to all the people of the world to uphold the Olympic principles and the Olympic Charter, to refrain from bullying all athletes because this has massive effects, Khalif said in Arabic in an interview with SNTV. It can destroy people, it can kill people's thoughts, mind, and spirit. It can divide people, and because of that, I asked them to refrain from bullying. Khalif has also filed a legal complaint over the online harassment she faced over the controversy. Italian boxer Angela Carini retired from her opening bout with Khalif after 46 seconds, saying she had never been hit so hard and set off a mass controversy at the Olympics. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it the sparring partner for coming out and saying these things? I mean, you've never said it before. Not that we would even know, because it's not like this girl was in the spotlight. And maybe you wanted to, but you're waiting until they got the gold to say that's a man, because you know it's going to get you clicks or whatever. And now people are going to look up and go, who's this Nigerian kickboxer no one knows? And maybe you'll be like the fourth highest viewed person on Instagram in fucking Nigerian kickboxing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Is it a main, cool, whatever her fucking name is, for that approach at the end where she started telling, when they brought this up, she's like, well, if they do this and this, it's bullying. Like, you're not answering the question. And I hate that shit. Don't be fucking doing that shit where you're like, you know, virtue signaling and kind of gaslighting. Oh, I guess you can, you know, challenge it if you want, but I guess if you want to be a bully and you want to be the kind of person that stops people from doing what they want and it calls me out, no one should know who I am. It's like, you failed tests, bitch. And it was not in the Olympic test, but other tests, you have literally failed being a woman. That's hard to do if you're a woman. Like, if Bobby and I are two different men, but if we had to take tests to prove we were men, we wouldn't be like, what were your test results? We wouldn't even ask. We wouldn't be waiting for them. We are men. We don't have any lady stuff going on. This lady's got guy stuff going on. That's a guy lady. Is it the Olympics? It's like, I get it. You want to be open-minded and shit. That's a monster. And everybody else was a molehill. I don't think it's the monster in a molehill, but still, they're punching molehills. Who's a piece of shit?
So I think it's funny that she came out now, and normally I would say people who do things like that, like the Michaela gymnast we were talking about a couple weeks ago, was 100% waiting for her moment to cause shit to get attention. But even in researching stories for today, I found one where a doctor was coming out swearing she was a man, and one where it came out and was like swearing she was a woman. This is still on the forefront of people's minds. So if you know this person individually, giving your share, I kind of understand. I've been confused. You know, I talk about this stuff a lot on here. So I actually reached out to a geneticist on this issue who asked to remain anonymous but would answer some questions for me. Don't roll your eyes. This is 100% true. I actually did reach out to, because I was like, can you explain what's going on?
Like, don't do your shtick right now. Fucking don't do a fake. Here's a Bobby fake story. Here's Dr. Slobby Smamburo. Okay.
Listen, I realize this is a boy who cried wolf, but I reached out. So what happens is we think of it as you either have a penis or a vagina, right? And then there's a weird case where you get both. That's how we tend to think of it, but like it's a whole genetic chain. So you might be a woman up to a certain point, and then you get men results after a certain point, and it's really 100% here on the Olympics. So like you might present fully woman, but at a certain point in the chain, you do have that Y influence and you get certain features that you wouldn't normally find in a woman. And the Olympic Committee didn't do anything to clarify it. You could say they're being inclusive, but like in doing so, they've actually ruined this girl's experience. If they set a guideline and was like, this is how we're testing, it goes beyond just simple XY results or something like that, and allowed her to compete in a division with people who met the criteria or were willing to fight her. We've talked about it on here before. 8 women have beat this chick. One was an Irish chick. She was like, I was drunk. That's why I beat her. I didn't feel pain. But like she beat her. So, you know what I mean? Like there are women who would be willing to fight her. She didn't make the Olympics this time. She's retired. But you get my point. Like, so it's on the Olympics. You've set this woman up for failure. You've set yourself up for failure. You've jeopardized the results. Like we went through this in the 70s with the Germans gymnastics team, where they were all she freaks. Like we know that there's going to be skepticism. The Olympics or the gymnastics was a controversy. Settle your shit ahead of time. That way you don't deal with controversies in the moment. Clearly you aren't equipped to. It's the Olympics.
I do think they're equipped to. I think they want the controversy. I think they want people to be talking about that right afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, I think they allowed that person in. So, it was dangerous, and it really could have hurt someone. But I do believe that they did that so people would give a fuck about women's boxing. There's a couple of the sports the other sports that got attention had some weird person like that. The ones that didn't need it, like the NBA, didn't have to focus on anything. But I really feel I also agree it's the Olympics, but it's the Olympics for, I think, making this go here. And I don't know if it's top of mind, Bobby, but I think media wants it to be, because I don't think I've talked to people, and anyone I know who's talking about the Olympics is talking about the Australian breakdancer. No one's talking about the punching lady. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, okay.
there's other things they're talking about way more. They're talking about Simone Biles before they're talking about her. You know what I mean? They're talking about the thing you talked about yesterday with the Flair Flav thing and then the woman not getting the medal. There's other things they're talking about before the boxer, and you bring it up and they get it. But I don't think it's top of mind. But I think boxing in general, because women's boxing is nowhere. You know what I mean? It's not on TV. It's not even like that. But if you can create an Ivan Drago, which is what they have with this girl, because you said before, you know, you're big. But Drago was beaten too. You do that, and then you tell a story. But maybe boxing needs to go after like WWE or even UFC does a good job of teaching you the characters and learning a story. So
yeah, dude, if Ronda Rousey came out right now and was like, I'm going to stand up for women and box this chick, and then she did as many steroids as Rocky did, but they pretended she just lifted like this with Paulie and his ugly, retarded wife and thing. Dude, this could be huge.
I don't think you go Rousey only because she's a little bit hated. I think you go Tatiana Ali. I know she's old, but you go Muhammad Ali's daughter.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where or unless Tyson has a daughter, it's got to be
somebody. Tyson does. If Tyson could fight this chick, they have the same kind of chromosomes going on.
Okay, then you break her out to stop things.
Oh, the killer!
Like, that would be awesome.
Hell yeah,
piece of shit to me is the Olympics for fucking making us know about this. The fact that that's reported, they're the ones putting it out. So like, it could just go to the Olympic Committee. Or why even say anything? But they're like, yes, don't worry, she tested. Like, what? I wouldn't have thought it. I would have been like, that's a big bitch. That's all I would have thought. Unless you tell me to think otherwise, you know?
Which they did, and yeah, that's a good point.
So what do you got? You got some stinky, clean stuff? Polished turd time?
Oh, I got a long polished turd, so enjoy. My freedom of speech.
You got to set it up or anything, or no?
My setup is my freedom of speech sense is tingling.
All right, well, tingle time.
Summer of 2024, the United Kingdom found itself at the center of a controversy following a tragic incident at a Taylor Swift-themed event. A mass stabbing resulted in the deaths of 3 young girls, triggering violent protests against the refugees deemed responsible. In response, UK authorities announced plans to extradite and jail American citizens for online posts deemed incendiary, which seems like a logical next step.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
This decision has not gone unnoticed in the United States, where the right to free speech is a deeply held value. America has a rich history of defending its freedoms through military might, from securing independence in the Revolutionary War against these very same SIGs and SIG lovers to the Allied victory in World War II. America's influence extends beyond the battlefield, with cultural icons like Elvis Presley and the POS podcast shaping global entertainment. This cultural power is rooted in a society that values creativity and free expression, propelling the U.S. to the forefront of innovation and the deepest depths of the UK's mother's cunt. In contrast, the United Kingdom's current strategy of threatening extradition has drawn criticism as a far overreach. Reports of inbreeding within certain communities, including the migrant population, have highlighted concerns about genetic health and social integration. These issues, combined with economic challenges and social unrest, suggest a nation potentially less equipped to engage in a conflict with a global power like the United States.
Fuck England. And the Queen can suck my dick. Fuck England.
The prospect of extraditing American citizens for online speech could trigger a diplomatic rift, challenging the long-standing special relationship between the two countries, not like the special relationships families have in the migrant and royal family populations. As the world becomes more interconnected, governance and rights challenges continue to evolve. The United States, with its history of defending free speech, is likely to respond assertively. American society, with its emphasis on individual rights and technological innovation, stands as a beacon of freedom, contrasting with the inbred UK's restrictive stance. So who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it the United Kingdom? America has been more divided as of late than anything I've ever seen. Do you really want to be the force that unites us? Like, do you really want to take it to that point where you're the reason we all who hate each other can get on one page? I don't think so. Option 2. Is it the UK? Because in the words of Herb Brooks, who, by the way, has one more gold medal in hockey than your entire shitty nation, focus on your own game. There's plenty to work on there. Sure, stabby, stabby, rapey, rapey may sound fun with your inbred accents, but it's not a fun society to live in. Option 3. Is it the United Kingdom for just being dumb in general? You have a monarchy still, but you claim to be a democracy. You have dumb men who stand silently and have to wear furry dildos on their heads. Option 4. Is it the UK for their colonialism? The sun never set on their empire, and few nations back the slave industry more. Plus, let's remember, Northern Ireland's still a thing in their minds. And I guess option 5. Is it the UK for drinking warm beer and having fish and chips as their best dish? Seems like a good way to explain the constant fish smell, when in reality the smell is because you're all a bunch of giant pussies. I smell pussy. Is that you, England?
We can cut it here.
In the days of old, we'd
You got a
fought
song.
Do you want to hear the song?
Well, you did it. Don't we?
for our rights through fire and smoke in the darkest nights. Now the UK says they'll take our kin. For words online, they say it's a sin. We won't back down, we've been here before. Fighting for freedom, it's what we adore. From Lexington Green to cyberspace 2, we're standing our ground in bar 2. America's won battles from land to the moon. In music and movies we set the tune. Yet here they come with a threat so bold. But our spirit's strong and we won't be controlled. We won't back down, we've been here before. Fighting for freedom, it's what we adore. From Lexington Green to cyberspace 2, you inbred Brits better prepare for part 2. Across the pond, they're feeling the strain with inbred tales and societal pain. Yeah, here we stand with freedom so bright, ready to fight for what we know is right. We won't back down, we've been here before. Fighting for freedom, it's what we adore. From Lexington Green to cyberspace 2, we're standing our ground in part 2. With history's lessons and stars in our eyes, we'll meet this challenge, let freedom rise. For every voice and every dream, we'll fight for our right to be heard and sing. We won't back down, we've been here before. Fighting for freedom, it's what we adore. From Lexington Green to cyberspace 2, suck my dick, England, you'll enjoy it too.
Rest in peace to Toby Keith.
That's Toby Keith?
No, he would have done a much better version.
Oh, just that he's American. I was like, what does that do? All I saw was Hank Hill.
Few things got Toby Keith more fired up in life than when he felt his freedom sense of tingling.
I think he made his bank account grow. I don't think he gave a fuck at all.
Exactly. So who's your
Before we
piece
get
of
to
shit?
the piece of shit, And I like all the work you're putting in. Can I make one? I wouldn't say critique, like just like one comment or maybe a suggestion.
Please.
I think, and this might be a little harder, but I think with the videos they're great. But you and I sitting back while we're listening to you read, kind of loses energy.
Yeah.
You should just read. You should read your script live while the video plays in the background. You should do the variation live. That
I didn't
way,
think about that. Yeah, we could pause the
almost
video and talk.
right away, I saw kind of like Jon Stewart or something like that. He would talk, and then the video's in the background, and we can watch the video. And you're in a little circle, but you're talking, and therefore, if we want to jump in and out and talk about it, we can too. Therefore, you can put a little more energy because you were reading it, and it was interesting. It was good, but you're very monotone because you're reading and making sure you get a thing, and it becomes documentary style. And if people tuned in, they're like, "Why are those two dudes watching some video?" And if they listen later on, they go, "Why were they watching that guy when that guy could have been right there and do it?"
That's a very good point.
But then you start it with the song. So like that way, here's the polished turd. Then it's like, "You fight for the freedom, fuck you," and then you do your report. And you can even end it again with the video again if they liked it. I like what you did. I just think it needs that live element in our live show.
That's a great idea. We've been looking kind of for a solution that incorporates them both, and I think that's a good call.
Yeah, and you can have fun doing the live read. And you can go unscripted. You can do whatever.
Exactly.
My piece of shit in that story is America. After all that,
oh god damn.
Yeah, who cares? We're the ones who have to get involved in anything. And then when someone else wants to get involved, we're like, fuck off. Don't make it us. Don't get involved in our shit. We do. We're such hypocrites. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, you know what? Let's take a nap, guys. Let's let England fucking fight the wars. They're not going to win, but they'll learn to respect us more. You're better off just letting them prove themselves wrong than already getting upset and being because they're just proving that you're an angry asshole. Now, what does an angry asshole do when you call him an angry asshole? He fucking fights you.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, most good people go, but I'm not an angry asshole. I better treat that person kinder or act better around them so they don't think that. America's like, you want me to fuck your mom? It's like, no. Okay, I mean, yeah, if you want to, but she's from us too. It's like, no, she's not. She's from my dick. You're like, that doesn't make sense, America. It's like Toby Keith. So yeah, the piece of shit's us.
I got to disagree with you there, Pat.
I don't think so.
We've drawn this line in the sand once. We're like, hey, we like to say what we like to say. You piss off, and we fought a war over it. And at that point, we were the underdogs. Now we are no longer the underdogs. We are the Boise State of 2020. We are the go-to.
We are the George Clooney to their Quentin Tarantino. Fuck off.
We are the Brad Pitt to their George Clooney. Like, that's kind of my point. Like, mind your own business. And like I said, I used that great Herb Brooks quote. Focus on your own game. Everybody's over there stabby, rapey, and pretending it's cool. It's not.
We're pretty rapey too.
Yeah, but we're not telling other people to shut the fuck up.
Yes, we do. Oh my God, it's all we do. We tell everyone to shut up. Then we go over there and take their shit and pretend it's a war.
Yeah, but like, we're cool.
We're not cool, dude.
We're better.
We're Biff from Back to the Future, where Biff thought he was cool and people that were afraid of him more. When you watch it, you're like, what a douchebag. Like, what's the purpose? It's like,
who set that precedent?
Well, we did.
England did. Because they were the first ones. We own everything.
No, that's not
trade slave.
We were like, we don't like how things are going. We're out of here. And they're like, all right, you'll be back. And they're like, no. And then we got there, and they were like, there's no way they can run it on their own because they stink. What's up, Chris?
Turns out we could because we're the man.
We're not the man. We've been mean the whole time. We're just angry. We're just the angry boy who got thrown outside. That's all we are.
I know we're better than them. As a country, the USA is a better place than England. What set this whole thing off? A Taylor Swift themed dance party, which has now been banned across England. Right. What is happening September 6th at the Mohegan Sun Casino? It is a Taylor Swift themed dance party. We can handle it. They can't. Anything you can stab, we can shoot better.
We didn't have it yet. There might be copycat people who go there to stab now. And believe me, we were walking around the casino on Thursday with a friend of mine who had a gun. So even though it says no weapons everywhere, there's weapons everywhere.
Yeah, you're not getting a mass stabbing off at that show because people are putting you down like Dion.
You might be, but by standing that close, you could get a gun. I could stab 20 people before I get shot if I'm standing in a circle of people up front.
That's true, especially if it was the karaoke show. They'd be like, "Thank you, I don't have to hear this anymore."
Yeah, you just stab, pop. Then they shoot me eventually with the sniper, but they wouldn't even notice it until people started like dropping. Even then, they'd be like, "Oh, it's Taylor Swift fans passing out because they think she's here."
Well, we've got a new POS game.
Yeah, stabby.
So for me, the piece of shit's England, for obvious reasons.
Nice. We got that's about a little under an hour, so we'll do one more. What do I got? Oh yeah. Airplane pilots record multiple UFOs dancing in the sky. It wasn't on our radar. People are seeing UFOs again, a whole bunch.
Ooh.
Pilots witnessed and filmed in detail several UFOs maneuvering across the night sky in ways impossible for a man-made plane. They always say that, and you're like, who? I wouldn't know. I watched a helicopter yesterday right above my work go like up, like the head straight up, and then almost upside down by the way it was turning on its side just to turn around. And I was like, whoa, that's nuts. Aren't they going to fall out or something? That's crazy. Because I don't know how fucking helicopters work. So I think it's flying away that man-made things couldn't do because I'm not an expert on flying. So Captain Ruud van Parmesan, that's not his name.
Doesn't sound like a nice man.
Ruud van Pangamanan, who is also a vlogger, and a captain, was flying a Boeing 747 from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia to Abuja, Nigeria at 5 a.m. recently when the stunned act crossed his view and then his colleagues in the cockpit. He described the extremely vivid star-like object. There was also a sudden streak seen across the sky far below it as dancing. The free-moving unidentified aerial pneumonia plunges quickly before shooting back to around its original altitude. Is it falling down? Van Parmesan says while witnessing the aerial phenomena in motion to the right wing side of the aircraft. Now it's an aerial phenomena. I think they meant that before, and I didn't read it wrong. It did say pneumonia, but I don't know why it said pneumonia.
It's clearly got fluid in its lungs.
Yeah, it's the aerial pneumonia. That's called a sneeze, stupid. It was aggressively broke off in other directions at random with no indication of directional change, eerily similar to a UFO depicted in the hit show The X-Files. The light of the UFO in front of us moves freely, sometimes forward, sometimes backwards, sometimes left, right, or vice versa, the pilot added. The object's bright light was also seen flickering at times and fully disappeared during moments as well. A Reddit user re-uploaded the footage using visual enhancements to make the object easier to spot. Later on the clip, multiple similar-looking bright objects are observed in the sky as the pilots are overheard describing them as UFOs. Footage taken by Van Parmesan shows that at least 3 of the shining dots, Van Parmesan said he saw as many as 4, aligned in a way similar to the Phoenix lights, a widely viewed 1997 phenomenon over Arizona is still without explanation. The pilot also ruled out any earthly possibilities. We thought the light was a plane, but it wasn't on our radar, he said. Then maybe it was a star, and the stars twinked quickly, and the stars didn't move. Parmesan dismissed the potential it could be a satellite, especially considering how many of Elon Musk's Starlink launches are typically mistaken for UFOs. Adding to the hysteria.
I know anything that flies in space at all. That shit didn't come from Earth. I've studied everything. Think the CIA shit I don't know about? I know everything.
Everything. Adding to the hysteria, several people commented on the pilot's YouTube vlog, and they said it had been similar. I don't care about what they say. Who's the piece of shit? The story is this pilot for going, I better call the news. I saw something crazy while flying around. And I'm not doing this for attention at all. I'm going to make sure no one thinks I should ever fly again because I'm loony. When I see UFOs. Is it people who want UFOs? Why are we obsessed? That's a weird thing to me. Aliens actually getting here and talking to us and we learning. I don't think they'll look much different. I don't know why. In my head, I'm always like, they could look just like us. Just we're calling them aliens because they're not us. But whatever they look like, that would be an experience once they're here. But the fact that they're just flying around, who gives a shit? we fly around. Like, we're trying to go up there. We're aliens to somebody. You know what I mean? I think it's all just transportation and what we're doing. And people are obsessed with it, and to the point where they, like you're saying, like, I know everything about flying. Like, you don't. Like, there's many planes and weapons and things that we're developing and stuff like that. There's exploration. There could be drones. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's technological or it's an alien or whatever it is. Who fucking cares? Or is it the aliens? Just say hi. It's getting old. Like, at first we wanted to see you. Now I don't even know if we'd want to go out.
You're pretty much the stalker at the gym from yesterday's story at this point. Nobody needs to hear you. For me, the piece of shit. Okay, so it's not the people who want aliens to be real. I get where they're coming from. It's the same reason everybody loves a comic book story, right? Because you feel like you don't have a purpose, and then all of a sudden you're given a purpose. Oh, you don't belong because there's this other, like, it changes things, and you assume in that changing your position is going to get better. Like, everybody likes Spider-Man. He was the nerd who got bit by the spider. Now he's cool. Like, everybody likes that feeling. I think that's what a lot of people feel with aliens. Like, it's typically people who, like, focused on this. They're like, I'm going to become a master of this and show everybody else. So, like, they're hoping for that same feeling of, I was right. I was here for a different purpose. That said, in the words of Don McLean of Eagles fame, they're not here and they're not coming. Like, why the fuck would aliens come here? Look at the Middle East right now. Shit's popping off. Russia, Ukraine, shit's pop. We're having a war on free speech. Like, there's no gain. You're not learning anything, especially if you come to us and you see such a volatile species. And I truly think that's the human spirit. I will say I find it very creepy, all the memes going around where people are recreating the human spirit as they do their final death against aliens, like to sacrifice themselves to save the team. That's a theme going around TikTok. I don't think that's what the CIA should be putting into the universe. Like, why else would they put that? But I don't think aliens are here. It's not the newspapers. Like, you're just trying to sell clicks. Like, clickbaity titles, I get it. Aliens may be here. For me, it's Vaughn Parmesan. You're already a vlogger and you're a pilot. The only type of vlog people want to see from a pilot is, hey guys, I'm Vaughn Parm Cheesy, and this is Jackass. We're doing 912. Like, that's what people want to see. So for me, it's Vaughn Parmesan.
Hey, I think you and I have different thoughts of if aliens did come. You were kind of saying it like you think they are going to come here to learn from us. Like, I don't think, or observe. I don't think so at all. I think we're not going to do that. If we ever find aliens, we'll think it's cool, and then we'll put out a narrative that they were like feisty, but we're just going to try to kill aliens and take over their shit and learn from their stuff when they're gone. We'll think we're in charge of aliens, even though they're not like from here. That's the way, and I think that's what they do. I think they would. I don't think they would give a fuck about our fighting. They don't know who we are, so they wouldn't care about our wars or our love or anything. Because they might have different things and emotion. Maybe their whole thing is fighting, and that's how they love. And then the loving is the awful thing, like, you know, Detroit and stuff. But that's what it is there. I will say, give a fuck.
No, I think we see eye to eye on aliens. Like, I think aliens are so dangerous. I don't even like human aliens.
No, I don't. I don't even like anyone named Eileen because it's too close.
I come on her.
Yeah, I don't because she's covered in cum already. It's been so long. Eddie, take a shower.
Yeah, but, wash it off.
My piece of shit is aliens. Like I said, just either come on in, say hi, or stop flying around. If you can't find a parking spot at this point, then you're retarded and go home. Like, I don't care. And all you do is make people that I already thought were kind of weird and boring way more boring. And every time they talk about you, what do you think? Have you ever seen an alien? Like, I would rather a guy ask me if I believe in ghosts than I believe in aliens. Because at least the ghost person can kind of be like, you have to believe we go somewhere, right? It's like a heavenly thing. The alien guy is just like, and they'll love me, and like, they're better than people, right? The people hate me. Somebody will fuck me, right? Like, fuck aliens.
I'd rather somebody tell me, ask me, have I ever been molested before, rather than do you believe in aliens? Like, that's a less painful conversation.
If you ever had almost a whole fist in your ass, I would rather that question.
Yeah. Either way, you're getting probed.
Right. So it's up to you. If you want to do one more, we can. But I'm fine with cutting off at an hour.
I think we did an hour of gold today, baby, which is what the aliens would steal if they came and took over the
Texas
planet.
Sea. Yeah. But please like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody who watched. Everyone jumped in today. Mike and Ricky Smith. Yeah, Ricky, maybe one time Bobby will answer question, because since Bobby did say he knows everything, even though Bobby was doing a character on the other side of the ice wall. So, but yeah, Ricky and Mike and Deadpool and everybody, Chris and all the guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, for another fun one. And Bobby, say the thing so we can go.
If you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.